Okay, so I think we're talking about some like cover-ups or reworks or something. Something. I don't remember what this one is. Let's just dive in. There's a lot to say here.
All right,
I'll get cozy.
let's see
Have
if
a
I
little
can.
nap.
Oh, that's not nice. Let's see if I can read this.
I'll see if I can pretend to be interested.
Says, hey Remy, love the channel. I got some Mon kitty tattoos that I loved. And a few months later went back asking for some very black forward wind bars to give a solid black aesthetic. I let my artist, who did the kitties very clearly, do the black and was left with some questionable design and application. It's because not everybody should be doing that stuff. I think what I asked for is probably not
It's
a good
just
concept
black. Anyone
now.
can do that.
Most of the lines will end up closing, and the general design is a nightmare. I can't see the kitties anymore and was left with these horn things that were different from what I wanted. It's my fault as I approved his freehand beforehand, but I had no idea I'd have goat horns on my leg and the kittens would be washed out. Not only are the cats gone, but we're out of lines all over, and I kind of hate my leg now. Ha ha. My last pic shows.
Your leg sounds awesome.
My last pic shows the new work from my new artist in an attempt to salvage and finish the shin. I'm very happy with her and wish she had done all of it now. I just don't understand how my original artist did so well on me for years, then did this. Obviously, I'm to blame. I wouldn't say that necessarily.
I don't know why you'd be blaming yourself necessarily.
I have another 7-hour coming up with my new artist. I noticed how well she was able to saturate my knee pit, which had a three-eyed cat that was scratched in by an amateur. I'm gonna close up the wind bars and rethink it. The cross from when I was 14 is going too. Any ideas welcome.
Sounds like there's a lot going on here.
The last 3 picks are 7-hour salvage session with a new artist who seems very talented. I know this isn't a fun one to work on now, but she doesn't. Ooh, I gotta figure out where I am. She doesn't seem to mind. Question: the wind bars are about 2 years old and are still jet black, and haven't grayed like my other tattoos. I really like the bluish look. How long does that take? Oh my god. My skin is pretty fair and I always sunscreen. New blackout behind my knee seems a lot more like what I wanted wind bars to be. Pick 3.
Jesus Christ.
I may have had her black out the majority of my thigh with some negative. Thanks, man.
Well, let's start unpacking some of this.
My brain hurts. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, camera.
The wind bars are jet black. Is that where we were at?
Yeah,
God,
okay,
need
so
some
this
close-ups
is...
on this stuff. Okay. Let's start here.
That's the kitties that are now gone, right?
I don't think the wind bars are as jet black as you might think. Like, I think it's just a comparison's a hell of a drug type thing. Right? Like, I think that they're black, yes, but your leg is incredibly white and there's negative space around it, making it look darker than it is. This happens all the time.
Yes.
Right?
And black tattoos don't always go blue.
No, they don't necessarily go blue ever. Like, there's this weird idea, like, I think it's because old tattoos, like, the color of black ink would go either, like, blue or green.
Yeah.
Right? Inks these days, they shouldn't be doing that anymore.
They don't I have not seen... I mean...
No, and by the way, if you think a guy with a blackout sleeve looks like a Smurf, he's not a Smurf, you're a fucking moron, okay? It's not the same thing. I will show you blue versus black, and they're completely fucking different.
Yeah.
'Cause I've had that comment before when I was mostly blackout, be like, give him a year and it'll be blue. No, your eyes are fucked and you're a moron. There's a difference. You want to see blue? Go watch my feature on Tism Driver. He's blue. There's a fucking difference.
Angry today.
No, just reality today. Like, that's all that is. Because there are still cavemen out there that say these things. And if I had it in me to, get rid of those guys. But anyway, The cat is hilarious.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Like-
These kitties are kind of cute.
No, I mean, I think the cat is the best part of this whole thing. Realistically, I don't know what the problem is. I'm gonna have to see this from a different angle. It's a lot. Like, there's a lot going on here.
It's
There's
just a little busy.
way too many ideas. What is this little guy in here? Is that like a Simpsons character? The koi is kind of funny. Look at the cat. Is he playing a guitar?
Yeah,
the
he's playing
cat's
a little
awesome.
guitar.
I don't know what the problem is. Well, what are we talking about here?
I think it's because he disappeared. Like,
Yeah,
you
of
can't
course he
really
did.
see him.
Yeah, but like the
But
cat.
that's the problem.
The cat and the wind bars they were talking about are like the same. So it's like, I don't know. Like, obviously that's going to happen. You got to use different colors to pop things apart. What you could do is you could separate the cat with some color from the wind bars, right? Mm-hmm. Get in there with like a green or like a really light blue or yellow or something and force the separation so that he's apart from it. That's if you don't just decide to black out all of this, which I think if you like heavy black, I don't think that's such a bad idea, and then get a bigger version of this cat somewhere else. That would be what I would suggest, because this whole thing that's happening here is insane to look at.
It's just a lot going on.
Yeah, it's that thing of like, you have a whole leg. You don't just have a fucking shin or a calf. Like, you've got a whole leg. You
Yeah,
could do this
crammed-
whole concept over your whole leg instead.
Crammed a lot into a small space.
Yeah, like, I want too much, you know? And like, the cat, that doesn't look like goat horns to me either. That looks like a cat. I don't see goat horns. Do you see goat horns?
I don't see goat horns, but I mean, teach their own.
I think people get, like, they get looking at things for too long, and they hear like a person that they love's opinion, and then that means a lot to them.
And it colors the whole tattoo for them.
Well, it's based on basically nothing. Like, it's based on nonsense. Like, that doesn't look like goat horns to me. Like, not at all. That looks like another cat, especially with the context of the cats in the leg. There are cats all over this fucking thing. There's way too many cats in here. But, like, because of those cats, my brain would never form the connection of goat horns.
Right.
Not that they even look like goat horns anyway.
And this is like, it's really, I mean, the black is quite black. I don't know if this is the new artist or the old artist. It's a fairly black.
But like, the black lower is just older,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's decently black everywhere. None of it's blue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see blue anywhere.
No,
in
they
here.
want the blue. They like the blue.
But there's no blue in there.
Yeah.
So-
I think Remy's suggestion of like blacking it out isn't a bad suggestion.
I think the whole thing is just crazy.
It's just really busy, and I think that like black it out and do the same kind of cats bigger over top or something.
and like, I
that's
don't think that
doable.
you're gonna get your black ink to turn blue. Like, I think that ship has sailed, right? I wish that the guys who still think this way would sail with it, but it doesn't really go blue. Like, you just look at your arm. Does that look blue to you?
I mean, I have some pretty old tattoos on me at this point, and like not one of
It's
my
just-
tattoos is blue.
It's more like this gray-black thing. I
Yeah.
think the people who like actually think that old black looks blue have something wrong with their eyes, or they're from a time when inks were made with more blue and green pigments or something, because that's not what happens at all. And like, I'm not even like, the thought is insane to me, and it makes me think these people have something wrong with their vision. It honestly does. I know what blue ink looks like. I have a lot of it on me.
Right?
It doesn't look like black.
No.
Not at all. So there's a very clear difference. Anyway, that doesn't look like goat horns to me. So
Yeah.
if that's something you were worried about, I don't think so. I don't think that any of the things that they were worried about are the problems that I see there. I think that it's
I think the cats.
just very busy.
The cats do disappear. I think that the swirls were maybe a bad idea, but
Well, there's nothing but crazy ideas in there.
right.
Like, I don't think that would be, for example, if you were putting together a leg sleeve composition, is it going to look anything like that?
No.
So it's not like we were in perfect ideas to begin with, and then we just keep adding things, and before long it's like, yeah, you're probably going to need a blackout.
Right? Well,
It just is what it is.
should we move on to the next one? Okay, so another little blurb here. It says, "Hey Remy, love your content. Just wanted to send you my most recent tattoo. It's basically a cover-up at this point. Here are the before and after photos. The only thing is I don't like how the sun rays just stop abruptly. I like how it taps my shoulder. I just wish it faded into a lighter tone towards the top, or I wish it had a little more negative space towards the top. It feels very blue and blocky, laugh out loud. I was thinking about putting a small black and gray border around the sun rays at the top of that. At the top, if that makes sense. It could be small stars going around my shoulder, or small cross or something Polynesian. Any ideas what kind of border would work? I put stars in the second picture I sent to try and see what the star border would look like. I obviously wasn't that precise, and I know the stars would go all the way around the shoulder. I just wanted to get a visual of how it would look. Thanks in advance, Ryan.
Okay, so
I think that's our before and then our after. Is that what's happening here?
yeah, and then he put some stars at the top there, and so this is very interesting, right? And this is like when people think you can't cover color or black with color, it's like, oh, you can cover every color with any color. You can cover any shade with any color. Like, these things are not as hard and, you know, locked in as people like to think.
This is a nice rework, though. I think they breathed a lot of new life into the...
I don't think the first one was like absolutely unsightly.
No, it wasn't awful, but
And
this one is better.
Yeah, the sizing was decent the first time. So like it was always possible to work something out of this, I think. And I do like the colors way more here. See this? We're seeing blue tattoos right now.
Yes, this
Right?
is
This
blue.
is a very blue tattoo. Look at it. Look at the different tones of blue in here.
Right.
See how none of them are black? It's amazing. Yeah. So we'll have these little tattoos come in, these old things, and like people will be like, I don't know if you can cover it with anything, right? And it's like, oh no, you can cover any color with any color. Like, we've had green turned to red turned to white, like
The best.
the black penguins. that
Yes,
turned
and I
into
actually
pink
got to
flowers.
see. I didn't get to see the penguins, but I got to see the pink flower, and
Yeah.
I like 100%.
Soft pink
it is
flower.
unbelievable. And we should see if we can get because Dave has it. We should see if
Yeah.
we can get it from Dave, just so that you can show this pink flower. Like, there's black penguins behind it.
Black
It is
penguins.
insane.
You can't see the shape. You can't see anything. There's no.
And it's light pink.
Yep.
Like, not even like
Soft.
a deep light pink. It is like a baby pink.
So
Crazy.
I mean, this is a decent size to continue on with. I think the only problem for me is the banner wasn't addressed in a way that is helpful, right? Like, I think that the guy who did this rework also could have just blasted over the old banner altogether and made a bigger one,
Yeah.
right? Like, just gone, you know what? Like, the banner's going to hold this thing because it's not in proportion to the rest of it, and it looks kind of tacked on. So I think that's the only problem I see with it. I don't mind the stars at the top, but like, I do find that they're potentially just too hard, right? I think the whole thing has already got a bit of a problem in how it ends. I think they shouldn't have capped that line around there, the dark shaded line.
But he's trying to put the stars to try and fix that hard line.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's going to make the problem worse.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, if you do a chess piece, you're going to be like, what are we going to do around these stars?
I think the way that you fix this is you live with it until you do something on that shoulder.
Yeah,
and then you blend into whatever you're putting on your shoulder.
I think it already caps well enough for a piece, right? Like, for what it is, like the top, it caps worse at the bottom than the top. And I think that all you really have to do is like shade off of the black line, like soft shade off of it, and kind of just up onto the collarbone into the next
to
thing.
whatever piece you
Right.
decide to put up there.
So I think that, like, if you're planning on doing anything on your chest at some point, the idea would be to continue that same kind of like flow that they have into the next thing. And then whatever you do on your chest should be built in a way that would incorporate a similar fade into the other arm. so that it looks symmetrical, right? It's very rare that a person gets one sleeve and stops.
Right.
Too. So I think probably what's happening here is the guy is like, he's wanting more tattoos, and he only has the one tattoo, and he's probably being a little rigid on the idea of like, I don't know what to do with the other one, so I don't want to do it, but I want to get tattooed, so I want to add something to the one I already have.
Yeah, like something small.
So what I would say is either start working on something else or leave this alone until you have a better idea. Because I think the stars are going to make things worse. And that's not to say that I think the stars are a terrible idea in their own. It's just that it's going to make life down the road a little harder if you choose to add to this, because those are very hard where you already have a little bit of that problem happening.
I also think that there's something in like talking to the artist that reworked this tattoo about how they would continue it on, because 9 times out of 10 the artist is thinking about that when they're doing the tattoo, or they've done it before and they have a good idea of what they would do.
The guy who did this probably has a fairly good idea about composition.
Right. So if you go to him and you say, hey, like, I don't like how this ends, like, how do we end it in a better way, or like, can we like add a piece and then like, you know, like,
I would say,
I think the artist will know what to do with it.
Yeah, consultation with the artist, you know, rather than sending, like, not that I mind, I certainly don't mind talking about tattoos, but like, he might have a better idea than I would have, and like, I think that both of us would say it's a bad idea to put these stars here.
Yeah,
just
I don't
because
think
it's a very temporary, like, sort of, like, doesn't go far enough to address the problem.
And you're taking up real estate that could be used for something way better.
The stars being filler in a place that's used typically to join two ideas is not really wise. Like, this could be a bigger concept one day down the road. And sizing is already okay. There's a lot going on up there, but like, overall, the flow is decent right now, and I think that that's just going to damper the whole thing. So